A staggering number of streets here in New York City are either not yet plowed or just partially plowed. A big, loud complaint from New Yorkers, but it's also a real public safety hazard. Think of the first responders, police, fire, EMS, who get the call. They've got to get through. They'll find a way, though some have become stuck in the process. Our own Robert Bazell discovered on the streets today, when the going gets tough, the tough get creative.
Snow still paralyzed much of New York City today, especially beyond Manhattan.
A big problem in the outer boroughs is that while many of the main streets, this is Fort Hamilton Parkway in Brooklyn, are open, if you go to the side streets, most of those are completely clogged.
Maimonides Medical Center's emergency room was at its usual controlled, chaotic pace. But on the ward, some stories of frightening close calls. Tammy Ahmed went into labor and called an ambulance at 9 p.m. Sunday. She gave birth at home to Yasmin at 1 a.m. yesterday with the help of friends and relatives. The ambulance arrived 4 hours later.
It was terrifying. It was horrible, actually. But thank God she's okay.
At first, when Maya Gelfand went into labor with her still unnamed twin boys, she didn't even try to call an ambulance. She and her husband trudged to a subway stop, only to learn the trains weren't running, and then called an ambulance.
While we were waiting for them outside, I saw a plow truck get stuck. I was like, I am giving birth in the snow.
1 day old. The ambulance arrived just in time for her to get a needed C-section.
The ambulances are bringing patients in today, but often the drivers have stories about having to carry them for several clogged blocks until they can get them to a main thoroughfare where the ambulance has to park.
I remember snows probably for 40 years, and it's never been so bad.
The hospital says once it gets the patients, it is managing fine.
What I'm amazed about is how everyone is pulled together. From, it could be the sanitation workers giving people a ride here, knowing that they needed to get here, to our nurses staying over extra shifts, to the ambulance drivers picking up in their own car.
New Yorkers pulling together as their city continues to struggle. Robert Bazell, NBC News, Brooklyn.